Okay, we removed the heads after we installed all of them. Okay, and we installed service disconnect, and we'll wire that up. I'll do that on camera. And GH and Jamie and I run the first of the line sets. Now, one of the things that you have to do is put a little tag on it. It says A309C. What I did was we took the longest one away. This is AC or A309C. You can number however you want. That's just the way I decided to do it. But you got to match them up to A, B, C, D, E, and same way with this. You got A, B, C, D, E. You got to keep track of this in the wire, or you are really going to be in trouble. So all the heads have to match up to everything. Here we run this down the side. That'll be the first one we can hook up. And we took, again, the longest one, which come clear down to here. Alright, we'll set that head, bring it out, and cut these off, because you notice they're flare fittings. And we'll make our own flares and make everything fit just exactly the way it should. Leave a little extra line set, leave a little extra wire, that way you can't stretch a wire, but you can cut it off. And once again, you can see the mess we have here. Oh boy. Alright. Okay, so you can see we've got our line set and wire coming in. Dave and I went ahead and run the rest of the line sets today. And you can see how we're kind of grouping them all together here. And they're all, here's the mess. Okay, now this is another reason why you want to do this. Tag them. Tag them or you're screwed. Alright, because every wire has to be named. A, B, C, D, E, however many things you got, and every copper or line set has to come back to a certain spot. Okay, we got the head installed, got it wired up. Getting ready to install this one here, but we'll have to make all the connections inside, which is going to be a pain in the butt. So go around here. Let's see, Dave, you got the condensate line ready to go. These are the ends. All we'll have to do now is bend them over, connect them up, and we're ready to go. Okay, so that is show you how you can come right straight out. And the other two will be the hard way to do it, but it can be done.
That range sure looks nice.
There it is. Gotcha. Alright, so we're, like I showed you yesterday, we got most of our line sets, well, all of our line sets back here. Got them tagged. We're working on A first. I'm going to show you a couple things here. We're going to use our torque wrench, flare tool, and we'll go ahead and attach all these two here, I'm going to recommend using a backup wrench when you're taking these nuts off and or tightening them up. Because if you don't, you're going to be in trouble. Alright, so here's our 3/8 line. Again, I'm just going to slide this back so it's not in my way, but I want to keep it there. Okay, then I want to mark with a marker that Jamie gave me and I already lost. Have that about right there. Now, what I'm going to show you is something that people usually don't do. Okay, as we're cutting this, you see how that dinged that pipe inside of it. I don't know if this, and same way with that, it's mashed in. So what we want to do is something that most people don't realize what that is. Okay, that's a reamer. You want to ream that pipe out. Okay, but when you do that, notice the little shards of copper, we don't want it to fall down inside, so we want to hold it down. And just slightly ream everything out. Okay, you see how that stuff's coming out of there. I don't want none of that to go inside. Alright. 3/8 pipe. My handy dandy little tool here. Almost did what I didn't want to do. Don't forget to put the nut on first. Done this a couple times.
My goal is to try to get it right in here. Just below this.
Alright, so I like this little flaring tool here. Pretty nice little tool. And again, I know I've said it over and over and over. I spend a little extra money on a good tool and I get a good flare. So I break that up there and you can see how that flare fits right over top of that nut. So we're in good shape. We slide our nut down. And I always strive for trying to make things look halfway decent while I'm doing it. Doesn't take that much more time. Alright, so if we see over here real quick, says 3/8, I need 25 to 30 pounds of torque. So I come in here, one side's inches, one side's pounds. I go ahead and crank it over and set it. there we have it. So all we got to do now is we'll hook the 3/8 up for the 1/4 inch. We got line A, which is head A, line B, which is head B, so forth and so on. We're not going to make you watch all this. We're just going to go ahead and when I get the rest of these hooked up, we'll go ahead and start on the wiring. It'll be the same, A, B, C, D, E. And you want to make sure in here, so you want to make sure all of them match up.
All right, you're on, Bubba.
What we're going to do here now, we've got the line set for A, head A, on A, hooked up. This is the communication wire for A. This is, and again, it's critical. We're going to go with black will be S1. And you want to make sure these connections are all good. Okay. White S2, which means supply. Red will be S3. And for Larry's sake, I'll try not to do too much grunting. It's hell getting old. Okay, and then we have our green for ground. Now, with just that screw on there, I will not take a piece of braided wire and wrap it around there. I'll get a fitting, which I should have
Right here, Jim.
close by. And again, I know. Why are you going through all this trouble, Jim? Well, because I don't want to have trouble down the road. Okay, I will take one of these fittings with a good crimping tool. I'll put that in there. I'm eliminating trouble down the road. So, yeah. Once again, I have learned over the years, do it right the first time. You know, that guy from Canada, Homes on Homes, do it right. Well, I taught him that. All right, so now we've got our wires, and again, we're not going to go through all these. You know, for the magic of camera, we'll hook the rest of this up, and then we'll, when we get back, I'll hook up the supply. Now that supply will hook up here, and that is supplying power for all the heads and everything. All right.
Gotcha.
Here we go. We got the last one. We'll finish this up. Well, what I'll do is just go ahead and tidy all this up. But there's all 5 heads are hooked up. All 5 wires are hooked up. And again, black, white, red, ground. You can do any way you want, as long as you know what one's what, so you can match up on the heads. All right, we'll tidy this up and start installing heads next. Okay, we put the nitrogen on it. We run a test. We run it up to about 500 pounds. We found a leak right here. We took and fixed the leak. One of my flares was bad. Again, it's good to have a good flaring tool. Now our next step is to hook this vacuum pump up to it and dump a charge and see how it works. We'll be back. We have got everything finished, except we're waiting on Dave to finish up the condensate.
Yep, that's Dave's fault.
There's a number 2 head, 3 head, 4 head, condensate. I'm not gonna run all the way upstairs to show you the 5th head, so go to heck. We got a line set there. Mr. Calhoun up there, how you do? We have now got everything completely put together, and we're going to set up a vacuum pump, vacuum it down, charge her up, and see what happens.
All right.
Ready?
Yep.
All right, we're here. How many minutes you got there, Jamie?
Right about 22.
We got 22 minutes. We're just real close to 500 microns. Once again, we got a whole lot of line sets here, so I'm good with that. So we're going to go ahead and shut her down so we get ready to head and dump it. Baby, come back. Now we do have a little straighter valve. Put it back in. Open it up. Put the trigger valve back in. With my micron gauge. Do a valve tool. And we're set and ready to go. So what we're going to go ahead and do now is, these are both the same size. I have a ratchet socket set. I'm going to open the valve and allow the Freon to go. And again, it really doesn't matter which one you open first. Don't let people tell you anything different. Especially if Devin's out here. Don't let her kid you. Now we've got 5 heads. We've got a lot going on here. Anything over 25 feet, we have to add the 1.8 ounces per 5 feet.
Yep.
So before we fire this up, we'll have to go ahead and we'll measure everything up, see how much we have to add. We'll write her down, then we'll throw the gauges on, we'll fire it up, and that way we'll have our Freon stuff ready to go. We'll do that right here in the next segment. All right. Okay, we're up and running. Here we go. Things running. Everything checks out pretty good. We have cooling, and all 5 heads are running. And the nice thing about this is, for being in this prop house, can you hear it? That's right, you can. You can't hear it, and everything's running pretty good. And the pressure from inside out is no different than having them on or off.